So I was reminded recently that spirit is an agent of chaos, of death and destruction. And I can't promise that I won't cry during this video, but what I can promise you is that you'll probably have some epiphanies of your own of like, whoa, that was me manifesting? Terrifying, but also gratifying, like a relief that I didn't have to make all of the hard decisions on my own, that some of the hard things that I needed to do sorted themselves out. So I had been calling in a sign from the universe for when I needed to leave my corporate job, okay? I knew when I started that it was just to pay off my credit card debt, and by the time that I started in November, by the time that we got to February, I was like, I'm already ready to go, and I know that I need to be here for a while longer, so I'm just gonna put it out to the universe. Spirit, tell me, make it obvious when it's time for me to go, when it's time for me to quit. And recently I got COVID, and it was like the first day that I was really down and out, that I was like, I think I need to quit my job. I don't think I can go back there. I think I need to quit my job. Day 4 was like, I don't think I'm going back. By day 10 of being down, out, not able to look at screens because the back of my eyes were killing me. So I'm just like laying in bed thinking about my fucking life, fasting too. So like my digestive system isn't doing anything. All this, my energy was just focused in on my life. And that was the space, the chaos that I needed to realize, oh my gosh, this is my sign. It finally came. This is my sign that I need to go, that I need to put in my notice. And I ended up going back to work, but I knew somewhere in there that it was coming, that it was coming for me. And what I experienced was a couple of things. One was learning recently, within the past 2 months, learning within the past several months, but only accepting it in the past 2 months, that I have ADHD and that I've had ADHD, and that's a part of the reason why I have anxiety as well, and that it's not going away, and that it's just another new thing to learn how to deal with. I learned on a little trip to Virginia Beach for a vacation that I had for my 1-week vacation, that I scheduled the first week of the fiscal year at my job. The first week that I could schedule a vacation, that's the week that I took off. That's how much I didn't want to be at my job. That's how soon I knew. I was like, I ain't gonna be here long, I might as well take my vacation now and get paid for it. I came back knowing something new about how to deal with my ADHD, which is to create space and silence and stillness for myself. So while like being outside in nature is, a form of calm and relaxation, it's not really silent, is it? Air conditioning noise, somebody weed whacking, it's not all that silent. So I have a camper trailer, that helicopter, I have a camper trailer that I've been fixing into my dream home. And she's great for me to go in and meditate and get a little spaciousness. Not only from, my parents, but also from the rest of everything. But I also knew that my dad's shed was close by, and I was just calling in for myself the strength to ask for what I need when I need it. So if I needed 20 minutes of silence and stillness and spaciousness, and my dad was already in the middle of working out in the shed, I resolved myself to go and tell him, I just need 20 minutes. You could go back to doing whatever you want, whatever you're doing for the rest of the whole fucking day. I just need this 20 minutes in my trailer of silence and spaciousness, of you away from me, and me with time to myself. And what happened? Agent of Chaos. The shed burned down. So there's the shed, there's my trailer. Okay, so he'd be working there, and I'd be like, shut up. The shed fucking burned down. So, first thing that told me, oh my gosh, I think I'm supposed to be leaving my job, because now I have even more space to clarify what it is that I'm doing every single day and help my ADHD brain get into that intuitive space so that it's not disorderly up here. It's really just clarity from here. The fuck? And then I started to sense that my dog, who was already sick with cancer, would be leaving us soon. He'd felt real distant recently for about a month, and just this weekend, 8/8, the Lion's Gate portal, just this weekend, it was the night before that I was looking at him, and he was looking at me like, I think it's time, because he had started having seizures in the past 2 weeks. And he was looking at me and telling me, I think it's time. And I was like, I knew you would tell me, because I kept telling you to tell me. Same with, like, when do I need to leave my job? Give me a sign. He was giving me the sign. And when I woke up the next day, after that night, the tumor on his face had swollen and was taking up a whole half of his face, and the bridge of his nose was swollen. And throughout the day, it became more swollen and more swollen. So, like, and he was acting differently. We just knew. My mom's intuitive too, and has ADHD too. We just knew. I think today's the day. I think if we can, today should be his last day. And everything fell into place. That we had somebody who could come to the house and help him rest his poor aching body. And my dad had my aunt's prayer box. My aunt has passed away, so we have a lot of her belongings, and he had been keeping her prayer box, and he said, I knew that this is what it would be used for when the time came. So that day we were able to put him in and close it up, and together as a family bury him. He and I my intention was to travel in my camper trailer with him around the country and do my card readings and speaking and event facilitation. And after living with my parents for a little while, I realized I couldn't take him away from them. So Spirit knew that it would have to make a decision that none of us would want to make. And it told us that it was time, and we did the hard thing, and the destruction and the death created really big holes, really big space in our lives, in my life. And I took St. John's wort, like a capsule today, so that's why I'm not like crying and weepy about it, because it just happened 2 days ago. And also I've been crying about it. I'm a Pisces, okay? So I've been crying about this for a long time. I've stocked up on my tears, and I did all the crying that I really needed to do before this moment, imagining it. So I get to be here now with the knowledge that I have a big decision that I needed to make, and when I finally made it, things happened. Things really started happening. Ooh, here we go. As a spiritpreneur, I find that, planning is nice and having structure is nice. But when that planning and structure comes from a place of fear, comes from a place of anxiety about what to do next, comes from a place of craving stability and wanting to control what it looks like, creating stability for yourself because you don't feel like you have stability in your life. I think that's so harmful. I think that's an unhealthy connection with yourself, because then you're putting so much pressure on yourself to be the boss and the creator, Sorry, I'm getting messages suddenly. But when you let Spirit, who is an agent of chaos, do some of the decision making for you, when you wake up in the morning and you know that you have 1,000 things to do, and instead you just sit in silence, stillness, and spaciousness, so that you can hear what to do today, just in this moment, and be present, and not look into the future with I have to do this, I have to do this. But you really let Spirit fill you so you can be of service. That's when you start seeing results. And they ain't gonna be pretty. They're going to be balanced. They're going to be harmonized. Not everything is going to be light, love and light all the time. So much of love is beauty and pain. And when you're in service to Spirit, you can develop a trust in not only yourself in a way that isn't like, I put this on my calendar and then I did it, but like I heard Spirit tell me that this was the time to be of service, and this is the price that I should ask. And I didn't go and compare myself to others. I didn't go and think about how many hours of work it would put me in, how much money I want to make per hour, and then calculate it based off of that. I just listened. That's when you can really be of service. And that's when you can make decisions for your desires. You can get clear on your desires and make decisions that you really honestly trust. Because when you really have that trust and you're honest with yourself and you're being kind to yourself, not putting so much pressure on yourself to be perfect, Spirit will move mountains. So you can be where you need to be and become who you need to be. Thank you for listening. I hope you liked this video. If you liked this video, and subscribe to the Spiritpreneur portal for more tidbits like this on the journey. I love working with fellow servant leaders. So if you want to connect with me, connect with me. Just do it. I love you. Thank you. You're wonderful. You're doing it. You can do it better when you're listening to your intuition and you're trusting Spirit to move through you.